What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another F6 weekly vlog. And have we got a weekly vlog for you? So this week it is Burgess Hill versus Chichester, a local derby on a Tuesday night. So what we're going to be covering is how to recover from a Saturday for a Tuesday night game. Something that I find really difficult and not a lot of people talk about in terms of can you do a match day -1 session? What kind of training do you have to do? So we're going to discuss. So we're going to go over that. Also, we're going to analyse the footage, and the theme that has come up is positioning in open play. So I'm going to dig deep into that about what the assessor said and how we can fix it and what it does to our overall game. So enjoy the vlog, and I will catch you for what will be match day -1. Let's go. Good evening, everyone. So it is match day -1. And it's been a bit, these Tuesday nights sort of throw off training massively. So recovery run was Sunday. Today, being Monday, match day -1, is a push session. No speed. I'm trying to keep my legs as fresh as I can. Obviously, being observed tomorrow. So in terms of the day, cycle into REFSIX HQ, go about my usual day, have a bigger lunch. So I'll show you that tomorrow. And then leave work slightly earlier so I can make sure that I'm not flustered and stuff. But Tuesday night games are a little bit weird. They're a little bit strange. It's a 7:30 kickoff. So it's trying to get a good night's sleep before big game tomorrow, being observed, local derby, done both of these teams before, should get on with them really well. But yeah, now time to go to bed, and I'll see you at REFSIX HQ tomorrow for match day. It is lunchtime, and we are off on walk around Brighton to run some errands. Lunch was a massive pot of pasta. Gonna leave work roughly 4:30, because that gives me plenty of time to get home, because obviously I've got to cycle home, which is quite nice because it's something called pre-activation, get my legs up and ready, and then have pre-match and pack my kit bag. So it's all about being as organised as humanly possible today, really. Nice easy day so far, and hopefully this calm and relaxed attitude brings into the game. So I'll probably catch you when I get home from work. I've just managed to get home. I have half an hour to get my acting gear. So this is what I'm packing, which is what we're going to do first. Kit bag check. This is what I'm packing for an Ishmael South East game. Yeah, let's get this show on the road. Starting off with match kit. Shorts, 2 shirts. The new one, the old one. Warm-up top, the mid layer, and underneath is a warm-up t-shirt. Towel. 2 Under Armour, short sleeve, long sleeve. It's still quite cold, so I'm still going to be in long sleeve probably. Whatever this is, complete mess once again. Obviously Saturday's game. This is my crime sheets. Undershorts to stop chafing. True socks. So basically, obviously I have Nike and I have True socks. So you can check the True socks review. I'll put a link in the top corner. But basically these stop my boot slipping because I wear these boots, which are laceless. So these are really good. They're comfortable. They're very durable. Wash well as well, and they're still comfortable. I also feel like they're a little bit like compression socks as well, which stops cramp. Gloves, because it's cold. And make sure, tip, if you've got gloves and you're using REFSIX, make sure you've got the little electric tips. Speaker, wash bag, gels today. Apple, and I think it's, quite a nice one. Strawberry and lime. And my box of tricks and a Lucozade that I picked up from Saturday. Boots, obviously, and my a dirty washing kit, as well as my new bag, which is obviously here. So this is all the stuff I'm packing now. I'm quickly going to pack this up and then have pre-match meal. It's a little bit rushed, but I feel quite pumped and ready to go. So, pre-match, you would have seen this one before. It is toad in the hole. So that's Yorkshire puddings, sausages, beans. As I've said before, beans are really quick and easy to go for. It's one of my go-tos, especially on a night game when I'm a little bit rushed. It's either this or pasta. Shout out to my dad who's done this for me as well. It keeps me a lot calmer. And that means I can go to the game a lot more relaxed. So I have about 10, 15 minutes so I can eat this nice and calm, settle down and eat. My pre-match playlist is here, and I will see you at the ground.
Good evening. So, game done. I thought it went well. Assessor was a bit up and down, really. Didn't say he said I had a good day in the office, but the things he's picked up on are movement. So hopefully we get some footage and then we can talk about that. He spoke about raising my profile, which has been said a couple of times, but this is one of the games where I don't think it needed. It was very much they were playing football. I stepped up when I needed to step up. You know, I stuck my chest out when I needed to, but it was just like this one tiny point. But it's something we can look at, the footage. And that was it, really. 6 cautions. My legs are heavy. So from looking at my stats, I spent a lot of time in heart rate zone 4 and 5. So tomorrow will be a light, probably just yoga, maybe a gym session, nothing heavy. But, you know, overall, I'm very happy with how it went. I'm just in a good vein of form. My man management was good. The assessor said my sprints were excellent. Really good dynamic movement and really good backwards movement as well. So that was nice. So now it is 10:30. I'm off to bed. I'm very tired. It takes a lot out of me, especially an evening game. But it's one of those ones where I'm mentally tired, or physically tired, but mentally my head's all wrapping around the assessment as well, because he was so up and down. Like, I don't know if it's going to be a good one or a bad one. So that'll play around in my head for a bit. But I'll catch you in a few days for the debrief. See you there.
So, back at REFSIX HQ, and we're going to go through my analysis of the game and my footage. So we're going to use the replay tool today, as well as talking about things like recovering for a midweek game and being prepared for a midweek game, because it's really difficult to be in the right headspace after doing a full day of work and then going to a game. If you've got to travel, you've got to leave work early. So when going to a midweek game, you've got to make sure that all of these things are accounted for. So I'm lucky enough that I can sort of work my work schedule around football in terms of leaving slightly earlier. So that means I'm not stressed, because if you go into the game stressed, just like on a Saturday, then things all sort of snowball out of effect. So just make sure you've planned the day well, and like simple tips like making sure that you've already planned dinner, whether that's having a bigger meal at the office or at home, whichever one suits you. So in my personal preference, what I like to do is I like to have a bigger lunch and a slightly smaller dinner. So I have lots of pasta at lunch and then, you know, a slight, as it was, toad in the hole for dinner, because that means it's quick and easy and I don't have to worry about, you know, what nutrients have gone in. I know that I've eaten the right amount of stuff to fuel me for the game. And if we look at my stats, we can see that I was fueled for the game quite nicely, because I ran 10K. A bigger first half is what we usually tend to see as well, because you're trying to put your stamp on the game, and a slightly like lower second half, really, because I would have had the game under my control, so I was able to let it out and not have to work as hard for it. Heat map, like we said in the debrief, it felt very central. The assessor picked up on it being central as well. And you can see in the first half here, there's a lot of me in the middle. There were a lot of free kicks in and around the penalty area as well. So that's where obviously these red blocks are. This is where I stand from corners, here and here. And this is where I'll be standing if I'm setting up a free kick. If we look at the second half, we can see it was very much one-way traffic actually in the second half, with a lot of attacking down this sort of middle play. Again, I'm not getting wide enough out here, because this is where I need to be if my assistant is over here. Sprints though, something that the assessor picked up on is I was very dynamic, which means that I was able to go from a start really and sprint really quickly, get to top speed quickly and accelerate. So looking at my first half, we can see I used all the area down in this left-hand side, which is getting wide a little bit, but not enough. And again, a lot of these sprints are central, so it's sort of confirming what the assessor said. And looking in the second half, we can see that, again, very central. A couple of nice high-speed sprints, which is always nice to see, but in terms of positioning-wise, they're not wide enough. I'm very much stuck, it seems, between the goal areas, which needs to be slightly more out here, because this aids my credibility and aids, you know, my decision-making process. It means I can get more of an angle on certain decisions and have a clearer view, and I always have the ball between me and my assistant, which is crucial, because if the buzzers fail for whatever reason, it's wet, they're running out of battery, then at least I can always see if the flag goes up, because if I miss it,
then it could cause sort of carnage. In terms of my time spent in heart rate zones and my heart rate data, this is quite high for a midweek game, and that shows there's a lot of stress going out. And as you can see, there's this big chunk where I was up, heart rate raised. That's just after the second half, so trying to build into the game again. And these are the kinds of things we have to look at and be like, okay, so now I've got a game Saturday. How do I make sure I'm ready for Saturday? Like, what is going to be my recovery? Is it going to have to be a complete day's rest, which it was? And those are the things that we have to look into. And what we're doing next week is we're off to a place called CryoBright, which looks into how to recover properly and how we can use different technologies to recover as well. So using this data, it plans our recovery. But the replay tool. So I've already set it up, as you can see here. What we have to do is select the game and then calibrate it, but I've already done that. So we'll look at a yellow card. Nice and easy. So this takes us 30 seconds before we can see where I am on the pitch as well, because this is a very zoomed in camera. So again, we're looking at me quite central, and the yellow card will be coming up just about now. So that was the yellow card. We can see me just coming into shot now, where I'm obviously can see quite wide, but that's because I've already blown the whistle and I'm coming to deal with a decision that is wide. So what we realistically needed to be doing is, if we take it back a little bit, is we needed to be, instead of at this place where the red dot is, we wanted to be slightly more out here and then sweeping around this way. And this allows us to have the perfect angle and the decision, be close to play, because when we play it, it takes me a couple of seconds to get into shot, and this means that I'm not really in the right position, or I'm not close enough to play. For me, it's a very standard yellow card. Let me know in the comments what you think. He thought it was harsh. But, you know, actually he accepts it quite nicely. There I am doing it on my watch. Lovely stuff. Moving on to the next one, which is a foul tackle right at the end of the half. So we've got to be careful, because we don't want to lose control just before half-time. We want to make sure that, you know, we stamp our authority right to the end, and then we can start the second half strong. So again, if we pause it here, I'm very central. I need to be slightly closer to play, I think, here, and this will allow me to, you know, sell my decisions a little bit more. The good thing about the heat map is that we can see it. So here we go. Better positioning for me here, actually. And this allows me to give a very simple yellow card. I think it's very easy to judge this one. We'll watch it back one more time. You can see my speed as well here. We'll go through that in a second. But quick break, nice and close. It's an easy push. For me, it's a simple yellow card. Again, let me know in the comments what you think, if you think it's harsh. And this is the new technique. You can see my card is in my hand, so the players all know what I'm dealing with it straight away. So card in hand, do the caution on my watch, then show the yellow card, and that's my process at the moment. And that's the process that seems to be working well. It means everyone knows what I'm dealing with. Everyone knows I'm dealing with the decision, and there's no real dissent. So that's quite a nice tip for you. So we also have a C2 here and a C3, which is delaying the restart, which we spoke about last week, and dissent, which is a topic we're going to cover soon. A couple more delaying the restarts and a final foul. So when it comes to speed and stuff like this, what we need to be looking at is, if the ball is travelling fast, we should be travelling slightly faster as well. A tip that somebody gave me a couple of years ago was use the ball as a metronome. So if the ball is moving quickly, then we need to be moving quickly with the ball as well. If the ball is stationary, then we need to be either not stationary, but slowly walking around as well. So looking at the final foul tackle of the game, it said again, another quick break, and that was what it was. It was quite end-to-end. You can see me in shot, which is probably in a nice area as well, quite close to play, but again, very central. In my personal opinion, I need to be here, because that's where the challenge comes in. So these are the kinds of things we're looking at. Actually, no, that wasn't the foul, but here we are. That's the perfect position, not to toot my own horn, but you can see I'm not looking at it straight on. What I'm looking at it is slightly from the left, so I can see either a push or a pull, and then I can see the foul tackle as well, and that gives me the perfect angle, because if you're looking at it straight down the camera, then basically what
it means is that you can't see anything that's happening behind you. And luckily, my assistant went up with me straight away here, so it sells the decision for us as well. So, you know, all those little tips in terms of if there's anything to take 2 steps to the left. If you think you're in the perfect position, take a step left, and then it opens up this view for you and allows you to see play in a different angle. And most of the time, if you make an incorrect decision, it's because you're in the wrong position, for one, or the process is incorrect. And at the moment, I think taking 2 or 3 steps to the left for me will aid my decision-making process massively. Because it looks like, from what we've seen, that my process is correct. I'm doing everything calmly in a, you know, sensible manner. It's just maybe getting a little bit wider and changing that angle, like the assessor said to me, that will change the game. But overall, these games take it massively out of me in terms of mentally and physically. You know, you spend all day working and then you've got to give everything to the game. And what I tend to do is slowly wind down after these games. It takes me a lot longer to sleep, I find. And, you know, I've got to listen to music, watch a bit of TV. I don't do my match report. I leave that to the next day, otherwise I am just living for football. So you've just got to find things that chill you out. Luckily, I had a 45-minute drive home because the roads were closed. So it enabled me to talk to people, calm myself down, and then go to bed. But yeah, it takes a couple of days to recover. It's Thursday now, and I didn't do anything yesterday. I've done a special recovery session today, which we'll see in next week's vlog. But it's finding what stuff works for you. So if anyone's got any tips and tricks about how to deal with those kind of things, leave them in the comments. We'd love to know, and, you know, share it with the community. But that's been this week's vlog. Obviously, we've got a special vlog coming next week, which we're in the middle at Walton and Hersham, the world's youngest football club owners. But thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next week for the REFSIX weekly vlog.